I think it just goes to show we're doing something right here in Baldwin because my speeches are sandwiched between classmates who are going to Harvard and Yale. So that's pretty amazing, just getting that out there. Um, yeah. Good evening. My name is Dan Scheinman. I've wanted to speak at this event ever since I saw my sister on the stage just 4 years ago. In my now 13 years in Baldwin School District, I've had several extraordinary teachers who are all very worthy of praise, but no three as much as the ones you see to my left. Ms. Heuer, Mr. Keppler, and Mr. Kelley have all been instrumental in my development and are the true backbone of Baldwin School District. They deserve endless praise and thanks for their work, and I hope what I say tonight will suffice in doing that. The woman to my left is everything you could ever want from a teacher. She is tremendously kind and gentle. Very often, when you leave for school in 3rd grade, you miss your mother. That is never the case in Miss Hewer's class. She is a constant motherly presence that always makes you feel at home every second of the day. Not once do I ever remember wanting to leave your class. On the contrary, I enjoyed it very much and felt like I learned a tremendous amount that I took with me after elementary school. One of my favorite Miss Hewer stories takes place on the first day of school when she told us she had to share with us a secret. The secret was that every year she is given the best students in the school and that we had to live up to that standard. I remember rushing home that day smiling to tell my mother I was one of the best kids in the school. But I was also worried for the rest of 3rd grade that I would disappoint her and she may never again get the best students. I don't have many memories of elementary school, but almost all the ones I do have involve you, Miss Heuer. I remember in 5th grade, you found me one day to give me a book you bought about the Mets. I was so amazed that she still remembered me and was thinking of a student years after I was even in your class. Well, I never for a second forgot you, Miss Heuer. Every time I sign my name or do a multiplication problem in some way or another, that is a reminder of your contribution to me academically. But it is much more than that. Your unbelievable sweetness is something that touched every student who has had the pleasure of having you all these years. My parents divorced when I was in 3rd grade, and you were always there for me. You understood that it didn't matter that I was just a kid and didn't quite get what was going on. You made sure I never, ever felt alone. You are a wonderful teacher and a great human being. I thank you for always being there and being the best elementary school teacher I could have ever asked for. To be perfectly honest, I struggled to write this particular speech. Not because I had a lack of things to say. In fact, on the contrary, I feel there is no phrase, no story, no speech I can make that will fully encompass the man to my left. He is absolutely 100% unique and authentic, and I mean that in every good way possible. Mr. Keppler was my 7th grade U.S. history teacher. Now, I was a little scared when I saw I had him as a teacher. My experiences with him prior were the same as many kids. See, while many teachers took the role of lunch monitor as a joke, Mr. Keppler took a more authoritarian approach to the job. Needless to say, I was frightened several times as a little 6th grader by this guy with a booming voice and outgoing charisma. But when I arrived in your class, I and every other student quickly settled in. Mr. Keppler has abilities that few other teachers have. Without doing anything in particular, his care and dedication for every student in the school is unquestionable. He was not there to earn a paycheck, nor was he there in any way because he was being forced to. He was there because this is what he loved to do. He had the desire to get his students to learn, and man, did we do a lot of learning in your class. Mr. Keppler does nothing by the book. Instead, he creates detailed and concise packets on specific time periods that give the students a more direct look at material. It's one of the most innovative and effective approaches that I have encountered in my years of schooling. The effect on his students is apparent to everyone who steps foot in your class. Students are excited to learn and want to participate. Mr. Keppler is an even more extraordinary person. He is unbelievably kind, generous, and jovial. I had the pleasure of having Mr. Keppler as a baseball coach for 3 years. He was just as effective as a coach as he was as a teacher. All the players, including myself, enjoyed playing for him and learned a great deal about the game. Beyond my time as a student and player for him, Mr. Keppler has had a lasting impact on my life. He instilled in me a great sense of what it means to wake up every day and love what you do. He taught me to follow my dreams and to never give up. Some of my fondest memories of middle school and even high school are listening to some of those long, hilarious Mr. Keppler stories that only you could tell. Mr. Keppler, you give your students a sense of belonging and confidence that is paramount to making it through high school. Although we will never agree on politics, never agree on politics.
You'll get smarter.
Yeah. And we will never root for the same baseball team. You are an absolutely great teacher and coach. I thank you for all those years of mentorship and friendship that I will always remember and take with me. You are all that's good and right in education, and every student who has had the pleasure of having you all these years knows it. Thank you. The man to my left is the best teacher in the school. I know that's a bold statement, but it is my unapologetic stance, and good luck making a case against it. Mr. Kelley is a mammoth of a man with an even bigger heart. He is a teacher, a mentor, a role model, but is always first a friend. Mr. Kelley was the first teacher I had when I entered high school. First period computers class freshman year. I was just a little kid trying to figure out what high school is. He quickly made me feel comfortable and like I belonged here. And although I still may be a little kid trying to figure out what high school is, I am different than I was then, and that is all thanks to you, Mr. Kelley. Mr. Kelley believes in you when you don't believe in yourself. He opens his door when you meet him, and he never closes it. If you observed room 422 for a day, you would recognize a common theme. Students walking in with a look on their face like they've been beaten in high school, just to walk out with a huge smile on their face. That's not magic, it's just Mr. Kelley. I once had a teacher announce to the class that he, quote, didn't want to be friends with his students because that's not what he got paid for. Now, personally, I didn't care because I didn't want to be friends with this guy anyway, but, it did get me thinking to what the role of teachers is. My feeling is it's whatever the students need you to be, and that's what Mr. Kelley is to all the students he mentors throughout the building. He listens when you need him to and gives advice when requested. You don't have to act when you're in his class. All you ever have to do is be yourself. As kind as he is, Mr. Kelley is just as brilliant. He has a very unique and in-depth knowledge of several aspects of education. Over the last 4 years, he has taught me both in and out of the classroom. He taught me various computers programs and computers for the 21st century. My sophomore year, I learned the ins and outs of the marketing field in the sports marketing class. Beyond that, he is one of the heads of the Future Business Leaders of America Club. In the club, I learned about several different fields in business. I've had the privilege of going on trips and shadow days that have strengthened my knowledge and insight into the field in which I am entering. One of the interesting things about Mr. Kelley, and one of the attributes that I believe makes him such a great teacher, is that he has had real experience in the workforce. He spent his first few years out of college in sales and has told me countless stories about what that was like. But Mr. Kelley realized that he was not happy with what he was doing, and he would be much happier teaching all that he had learned. He always points out how much he loves his job after I point out to him that even after 14 years of teaching, he is still not making as much money as he did his first year out of college. This has taught me a tremendous deal about the importance of loving your job and wanting to go to work every day when you wake up. Mr. Kelley has provided me with several little tidbits of advice throughout the last 4 years that I will take with me for the rest of my life. I'm grateful for so many unbelievable memories that I have accumulated in my time at Baldwin High School, and almost all of them, in one way or another, would not have been possible without you, Mr. Kelley. I'm not much of a crier, but every time I have in the past 4 years, it has been in your office. He has always been there for me, and I am truly thankful for your kindness and advice. You are the reason I am standing here and will move on to bigger and better things. Just as you enjoy waking up each day to teach, I wake up each day excited to walk into your office in the morning for our daily discussion on politics and business. It's these simple moments that make high school tolerable sometimes. It was a few weeks ago when talking with you that I realized that perhaps the most important gift you granted me in all these years was the gift of friendship, something I can never repay to you in 100 lifetimes. Mr. Kelley, you once told me that the smallest minority in this country are people who wake up each day and say they love what they do, and that you are part of that club. Well, Mr. Kelley, I hope one day I will wake up and say the same thing, and that'll make you very proud of me. You told me to never be afraid to fail and to always be who you are. I know that wherever I wind up in this world, I will have those words in my mind and heart. I say this because I feel at this point the words thank you don't really cut it for what I want to say, but just know how absolutely grateful I am for your impact in my life. I would like to thank the people who made this event possible. It is crucial that there is always a forum to thank the unsung heroes of the education system. As I move on to major in finance at the Ohio State University, I feel I am better prepared having studied here in Baldwin than have I had studied in any other school district. It is the teachers you see to my left that make Baldwin so special, and to them I once again say thank you.